Hey, brothers, sisters, kings, all my queens, it's your boy Mduduzi, back with another video. All first time viewers, all returning subscribers, shout out for checking me out. As you can see by the topic, the unbreakable rule, disrespect. And I didn't hit my prayer before doing this video, so I'm gonna say, so help me God, speak through me, Holy Spirit. So let's get right into it, brothers and sisters. Disrespect. And this is especially for women, like for them, why they should not disrespect men, why men take respect so seriously. You guys have to understand, right? What is respect for me? Respect is honoring another person, or other than God, because I give God respect, but honoring another person for what he or she was able to do that I know I can't do. So for example, because I am a believer, right? If someone shares with you another believer, you know what? I went 30 days, just water, 20 days, 21 days, 3 weeks, just water. I didn't eat no food. I haven't done that myself, right? So this commands respect. Doesn't command it as to say like he doesn't command the respect, but the way he's living his life, whatever he has achieved, whatever he or she has done, commands respect. And you have to understand, as a man, these things are most attractive to me. I'm going to speak about myself, right? But I believe other brothers can testify. It's as easily I can say that, you find that most women are emotional. Most women, it's not by their own doing, right? They didn't pick to be emotional. It's inherent. It's something they are born with. Same, I believe, with men. For me, respect, honor, loyalty, integrity, right? Being a man of your word, there's a famous quote, I think it's by Scarface. No, it's by Al Pacino on the movie Scarface. I'm not sure, but it says, there's only two things I have in this world, which are my word and my balls, Brothers and sisters, this is so true. Like, as I said in another video, I feel like women are more, they are more, in my perspective, more like filtery, right? They use more filters on their videos. They are more about makeup, making themselves look pretty. Where guys are more real with it, right? So that's why you'll find, and I'm speaking to the sisters, that if a guy wants to sleep with you, he makes it obvious. He invites you over to his crib. He's pushing because he knows he thinks logically, right? He thinks rationally. As I think this is inherent in most guys. We think rationally. So how am I going to sleep with her? Get her to my crib. That's why, for example, if you go up to a girl and be like, can I get your number? She's like, nah, you can have my Instagram. It's already a red flag, because it's like you want direct communication. You want to call her. So if she's giving you her Instagram, why even get it, right? Honestly, it's like you can take it for all the brothers, but why waste your time? Because from Instagram, it's not going to be easier than a number. Number, you can call her. Instagram, but that's her way of distancing herself. Anyways, I say that to say, respect is me honoring someone for something I haven't done that they've done, or just an achievement. So as I said, 3-week water fast, I give someone respect for that. Like, damn, no matter who you are, it's like they were able to cultivate themselves. they were able to self-discipline themselves to go without food. And we all know how important food is. We all know how it feels to not be without food. Same as someone who is celibate, let's say for a year. Especially as a man, you understand that we have strong sexual urges. You know, they say women have higher sexual urges, or I'm not sure how true it is, but as men, we understand like how dominant our urges are. So for you to be celibate for 1 year, it's respect, right? So disrespect is basically looking down on the achievement, looking down upon who we are at core, right? And this is why disrespect is the one unbreakable rule. And I just want to give a few instances in my life where I had to cut women, or I just distanced myself because of disrespect. Disrespect, man. Like, disrespect is really taking you, undermining you. So for women, I want to give this example because this is something I thought of before I made this video. Say, for example, you have a husband, you a wife that cooks, right? Inverted commas, I was about to say, but yeah. You make a delicious meal. You know how long food takes to prepare. We know. So you make the food only for him to come home and be like, man, this is average, or you couldn't have made something better. Disrespect, they're undermining the amount of time, your value, right? So this is what it is with men. It's like, I can't, as a man, appreciate disrespect, or I can't take disrespect then expect life to go on as usual. For another example, like, you can't take a man being like, you ugly, but then, or let's say you guys are friends and I'm like, you ugly though, like, for me, you ugly. But then next time I come around, it's all good, or I don't. It's not like it's like you can't act like you never heard it, right? Words can't be taken back. Same thing as disrespect. No matter if a person apologizes, and I'm someone who forgives as I believe I should. God forgives, but what doesn't change is the fact that someone thought that, right? So let's get into a few examples. Firstly, there's one girl, M. She knows herself. I've cut her off, but I just want to explain what she did. And I'm not sure if she'll ever watch this video, but from my perspective, that she doesn't understand, right? So I went to a braai. We're there as friends, right? She's the only girl there, and a couple of brothers. You know, we're braaiing, whatever. So, you know, like, I'm not someone, you know, like, there's this whole thing that a man should braai. If you don't know, you know. Now you know, right? So I'm not someone who likes braaiing. I can braai, but I'm not someone who will step up to the plate, because it also comes with a sense of respect. Like, if you can braai some good meat, you get that, damn, he's a braaier. You know what I'm saying? So it comes with that respect, but I'm not someone who seeks it. I'm not someone who wants it. So I'll give up on the braaiing. It's like, nah, y'all can braai, I'm good, right? Doesn't mean, though, I can't make the effort to braai and to learn to braai. But anyways, brothers are fixing the braai, whatever. Then, you know, the comment pops out, Nduduzi, why is it like... And this time, we're friends, right? Like, oh, and just to kind of... This is what made it worse. So earlier, we were buying the meat, buying the food. You know, like, we at a section, we're buying rolls. And, you know, it was simple maths that she had to do. So maybe like, 8 rolls are 13 plus another 8 rolls, which are now 15. Then maybe, like, let's say, she didn't give such a crazy answer, but let's say she's like, that's 20, isn't it? I'm like, nah, that's not 20. We have a laugh about it. Another instance where we had to add numbers, she got it wrong. Then she was on some, her defense was, you know, she's not the mad person. And honestly, guys, me, I'm a man of God. I understand, right? I won't use your shortcomings against you. I could have made it a whole big deal. Plus, it was the only two of us when we were buying rolls. So I could have been like, when we get to our other friends, you know what, you know what she did, right? If you know, you know. But I let it slide, right? It's we all make mistakes, even if, and like they understood what's the mindset, like her saying I'm not the maths person. Anyways, fast forward, the comment breaks out while we're crying. Like, Duduzi, why does it seem like you're avoiding all the manly work? Where does that come from, you know? And I saw it in the light of, I've never been disrespected by her, but now that we're with other males, and you know, personally I'm someone who's comfortable in my skin, but you know, there's this thing of who's alpha, who's, you know, like, I get it, right? A whole lot of masculine energy, but for her to, in my eyes, try to put me down in front of others, because she was the only girl, for her to have that leverage on me. And there's a reason she chose me, right? Like, out of all, like, I wasn't the only one who was not attending, like, the bride, who was not trying to make it work. So for her to attack me, I saw it as, oh, the disrespect. But then again, it wasn't that deep. But another brother was like, you're gonna let her slide? Like, I wouldn't let that slide. Like, what? So it just showed me that I shouldn't, and I understand why I'm not taking this lightly, because it's pure disrespect. And what had happened was, okay, I let it slide, whatever. Now I'm attending the bride, but not because of the comment, right? Because the bride was taking, the calls were taking long to start, to get hot so we can bride. So I was helping, you know, as I said, I just choose to fall back. So what I was doing was fanning the fire, or fanning the coals, right, for them to catch fire. Fanning them, and I was fanning them using a dustpan. Fanning. Guys, like, I was going, and this was just for myself, right? I was going so hard at it, because I knew I had that strength. I just, you know, no one was even there when I was really fanning, because, you know, it's like we're chilling, so there's music playing, people are talking. So I was there literally by the coals, fanning that thing, I fanned so hard. When I went home that day, like, my arm was sore. Even the next day, I was like, damn, did I overdo it? But yeah, crazy enough, after I fanned, she's like, you're not even like, why is it like now you're only coming after everything's been done? And you know, that comment, I just looked at it, I was like, the disrespect, you know, like, that's it, you know. Like, there was also a few other comments she made throughout that night. But that one for me, especially because I remember, you know, like, I didn't cut her off the same day. I waited until the next day. But I remember thinking about that. I was like, my hand is even sore from the work I put in. For her to disrespect me and say that and undermine me like that, I was like, no way. Sent her a message. I was like, I'm cutting you off. And on top of it, you know, like, for me, there was no accountability whatsoever. There wasn't, I'm sorry if I offended you anyway. At least, like, I don't know what I really did, but I'm sorry if I did something. It was just, you know, like, I'm so confused. I'm so surprised. Like, I literally didn't do anything. Hello. That was her response. So I was like, nah, it's, for me, like, nah, she has to go, you know. And, like, she'll understand why, but, like, just, yeah, the disrespect, you know, like. And that time I wanted to be a friend. Me, I don't mind being friends with girls, but, like, you have to draw the line. Fast forward, and I just have to also speak on my other sister, right? It's like, there's a distance I kind of keep now, maybe it doesn't seem like it, but you know, it's just the disrespectful comments that come out of nowhere. For example, she'd be like, do you know if there's a Pep at a certain mall, right? Pep is the shop. And I'll be like, nah, I don't know. But she's like, oh, but don't you like go there in the often? I'm like, yeah, I do go often, but I'm not sure if there's a Pep. Then she's like, what do you know? Like, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, I've realized women or girls will say things to get your emotions up. So now I realize, like, every time I'm in a situation where I feel myself getting angry, it's all the more reason not to fight, right? Because, like, I won't say that's what they want, but there's this weird emotional game which Dr. Orion, I forgot his, but channel is Psych Hacks, PSYCHACKS. Check him out. He explains that women tend to start fights out of nowhere to reinforce that you still care. And I don't believe she was picking a fight then. But the level of disrespect in that comment is like, what do you actually mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? What do you mean? What do I know? I know a lot, you know. Maybe like then if you say like, I know a lot, like not clearly. So it's just a little disrespect that they don't get. It's like, why would I? And you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you disrespect me? I can't carry on like everything is cool. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, but yes, that's why I choose to distance myself. Man, let me talk about today. So I went to get this car I'm sitting in washed. There's a brother who washed the car first time, right? Like, I've been to the car wash many times, but one time he was washing the car. And not to talk bad about him, but he was, you know, like, I believe he was drunk. You know, like, he was just like too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just, I don't know, like, I didn't enjoy that experience. But, you know, anyways, I'm like, whatever, you know, like, move on. And then today, what happens is I get there, okay, other brothers start washing the car. He comes, he's like, guys, this is my car, what you guys doing? Then he stops them, he takes over the whole process. And for me, like, I had to speak to him after. I was like, nah, that's disrespect. Like, you washed the car, right? I was about to say my car. You washed the car one time. It doesn't give you right to be like, this is my car. And when I had said, after, you know, like, I confronted him, he was like, everyone has their car. He was like, yeah, everyone that washes has their car. I'm like, nah, like, that's just disrespect. And, you know, like, what ended up happening is, I confronted him, then I went to the store. Then when I came back, he was like, nah, kind of like, we know that you're angry. I'm like, I'm not angry. It's just the disrespect. And also, you know, you only get this if you're Zulu. But like, you know, you get brothers coming across calling you Mlungu, which is a white person. But basically that means that you're not a full black person, right? Because you are privileged, you're a white person, but you're black. So here he was referring to me as that imoto yomlungu. This is no, what you are saying? Nazin ngeimoto zabelungu. What do you guys know about white people's cars? So, you know, he's disrespecting me, but it's a joke, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I can't let it slide. It's like, and this is what I've seen, like, many people talk about this. The first time you let it slide, it just keeps. There's a lady at work. She gave me a nickname, right? Junior. And honestly, I didn't mind it. For me, the whole interaction was like, whatever, you know. But then I see that it only came to my realization that, no, man, it's a form of disrespect, right? It's her way of kind of diminishing me. Like, So it's the little things that women do as well as men that you have to stop at, because it's like you can't disrespect me and life goes on proper. You know, there's a verse from the Bible, I'm paraphrasing it, it's from Proverbs. It says, it is harder to win a brother offended than to win over a strong city. Just think of that reference. And for me, that is so true. Every time I'm offended, there's no winning me back, honestly. It's like, unless, you know, like I've had one girl, and shout out to Salim, right? I'm gonna shout her out, not to put our business out there, but like, I feel like in our interactions, she kind of like, she didn't respond to, she didn't respond to me when I had expected, right? Like, I'm not someone who expects you to respond right away, but like, I think she kind of waited a day. So when she texted me, like, I was like, you know, like, I don't appreciate it, blah, 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 you know. Then she was like, nah, I'm really sorry. And, you know, first time girl taking accountability. That's why I'm shouting her out. But it's like, you have to, disrespect is serious. It's like there's a brother of ours, right? There's this other girl, right? I'm gonna say this other girl, but she's also a friend of ours. But I remember when we were still children, she would be like, nah, like, I'm gonna call him L. L doesn't get girls. L can't make. Then L will be like, you know, I can make. Then he'll try make on her. She'll be like, nah, L. You know, like, it was just a disrespect. But I see it's like they disrespect you to gain power, right? It's this weird thing, like, they want power over you. That's why they'll disrespect you. But it's things you have to check, guys. Like, for me, I used to let a lot slide, but now I can't. You just can't, because the more I feel like I grow closer to God, I just understand boundaries, right? I understand what's love and what's not love. You know, love is kind, love is patient. So if someone is not being kind, but it's under the whole, nah, love, it's not love, you know, because love is kind. Love is patient. Love does not boast. Love does not envy. Love does not, you know, I don't even know the whole list. It's something I should learn, and I'm going to learn. But yeah, we have to check disrespect. I have to mention another instance. There was a girl. I'm a call her by that. There was a girl. We were talking, right? And she always took long to reply. And I understand this is the games they play, but this is a clear sign of disrespect. Like, what was worse, there's a time she had texted me, right? She texted me. I texted her back. Then I was on some why do you, like, because I thought she deleted my number. So I was like, why did you not delete my number? Yeah, why did you not delete my number? I see you still kept it. Something like that, right? And she was on some, I didn't, and she took a while to reply. Then she was like, I didn't save your number. So it makes me think she might have, you know, she might have had the chat archived. But the way we had ended, like, it seemed like I deleted her number, you know, like I did the best thing. I was like, nah, delete. So her not deleting it, then texting, then being on some, I didn't save it. It's just weird vibes, you know, the disrespect. You like, you have to stop it. You have to check it there and then. It's like, if you know me, you know that when I experience disrespect, I keep my distance. And you know, like, I'm not perfect. Like, I also feel like maybe I disrespect people without knowing, right? So I always have to be conscious. And also just ask for forgiveness. I think admitting you're wrong is so many steps in the right direction. If someone's like, oh, I'm sorry to do that was clearly disrespect. Just please forgive me. All can go on fine, you know. But like, if you be like, nah, what you mean? come on, like, we're not gonna go on as friends or whatever. Yeah, just watch the disrespect. Let me talk about also this instance. There's girls, right? Or a specific girl. And just thinking about it, like, I'm now gonna distance myself. This is my mindset. But what had happened was, there's a time I had pulled up, I was wearing a coat. And I wore my coat because it was cold in the morning. But then, you know, weather changes. Then afternoon, it just became hot, right? Hot. So then they were on some, like, she was surrounded by a group of girls. You know, but yeah, they were just on some, why wear the coat? It's so hot. Now I'm like, because it was cold in the morning, like, nah, like, take off the coat. And I hadn't taken it off because I went straight from work into the shop. And that shop is also cold where she works. So it was like, I didn't need to take off the coat. But I knew that, okay, going outside, it's hot. I'm going to take off the coat. But yeah, they were just on some, you know, take off the coat. It's hot. Which, okay, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not like that, but I'm like, okay, it is what it is. What happens today is I wear a short sleeve. And as I say, it's undermining your value, undermining your effort. That's what disrespect does, and that's why it can't be tolerated. So I wear a short sleeve today, right? I didn't put a jacket on because normally when I walk, it tends to get hot. And, you know, then I have to hold the jacket and it's extra weight, you know. But yeah, I was like, okay, you know what? Normally when I walk, and normally in the morning, it seems cold, but the weather changes. So I'm going to wear a short sleeve. I know that the weather will change, which it eventually did. Now it's quite warm, right? But when I was still at work, it was cloudy, right? It seemed like it was going to rain. The wind was blowing. So I go there by her shop where she works. I'm buying something. And she was on some, how it's cold. Why don't you have your jacket? I'm like, nah, I left it. I thought it was going to be warm. Then she's like, you see, just the disrespect. Then she's like, I don't understand you. Or when it's hot, then you wear, when it's hot, then you wear things that are hot, you know, like a coat. When it's cold, you don't wear your jacket. So you see the disrespect behind her comment, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, like, I'm not in the I'm not in the position where I can confront her, but it's just gonna, and this is why, like, some people, you just choose to stay your distance because you can confront, but then it's gonna cause that whole, but I didn't mean it like that. You know, just that whole denying is like, nah, but you actually did. So it's just like you keep your distance. Like, she'll wonder, like, and you know, like, it's not the best move ever, right? Because I believe you should walk in truth. But yeah, she's gonna wonder, like, yeah, what did I do to him? But it's like, it's the disrespect. Like, guys, disrespect can't be tolerated. Like, I won't say the older, but the more knowledgeable I get, it can't be. It's like, also, I was just talking to the homie, shout out BP, and he was kind of mentioning that, you know, you tend to not want to call people because you like, especially friends, like, I'm always calling. And that just made me realize, it's like, I won't even lie, like, in my eyes, he's been calling me, and I didn't see it as, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, he's been making the effort, right? But you see, like, I've been disrespecting him by not hitting him up, not calling him as much as he calls me, because I'm grateful for the friendship we have. But, you know, if he didn't choose, you know what I'm saying, to suffer long, I would have been cut out from his life. So thank God, and it's about realizing, you know, asking for forgiveness and just making actions to be better. Like, if you disrespect me once, you ask for my forgiveness and I give it to you. It shouldn't be like in future, now you disrespect me again. It's like, then you know for sure, like, once I cut you off, it's for good, right? It's like, yeah, and disrespect is in the smallest of comments. for example, like, I also find this when it comes to my mom. Like, I feel like this is why we don't have such a great relationship. It's just a small disrespect. But you know, with my mom now, with the knowledge I have, I understand she's trying to kind of get an emotional response. But yeah, it'll be like, for example, it's like, okay, let me tell you, yeah, there's this one. I wanted to mention another thing, but I can't remember it properly. But there was one time we had went to Rustenburg to visit her side of the family. And what had happened was, it was getting late and I was hungry. So I was like, I came to my mom, I was like, are they, and this was not long ago, maybe a year. I was like, the food, or like, you know, what's happening with the food? Not in a disrespectful, I didn't say it like that, but you know, because I was hungry, and she was like, I also don't know what's happening. But then, not even, I didn't, you know, turn my, you know, I wasn't even far from her. She was like, hey kids, like, now they want to rely on you for everything. It's like, nah, you must make your own plan, or, you know, like, just that small talk for me changed me forever. It's like, you know, I never again did I ask for food throughout. And, you know, like, the disrespect was that, like, it's not that I wanted food from her. It's not that I couldn't make my own food, but I was kind of asking for help. So if you disrespect me for helping, it's like, you know, oh, disrespect me for asking for help, I'll never ask for help again. It's like, remember, there was, I think, days later, if I'm not wrong, it's like, how you're not hungry, you're not. It's like, nah. But it's like she forever blocked the barrier. You know what I'm saying? And even if you talk with her, it's only gonna be like, nah, but I didn't, you know, didn't mean for it. And these days, honestly, like, I have love in my heart. I'm a man of God, but I don't want to go through that whole denial. Like, it's rather like I distance myself. If you take too long to reply, now it's all cool. You know what I'm saying? No, keep it pushing, you know, keep it P. Guys, we have to, like, the disrespect, it's the unbreakable rule, like. And this has distinguished a lot, like, with the women I'm interested in and the woman I'm not. Like, I can be physically attracted to you, but if there's disrespect, forget. You could not be as attractive, right? But, you know, like, another brother was explaining that for your woman to be a 10, it doesn't mean that she's the most gorgeous. Everything about her is just standard morals, values. It could be that she's a 7 or even a 6 if we're judging by the flesh, right? But then the way she is, her personality, all that makes her add up to a 10. And I've never looked at it that way, but it makes sense. It's like, with me, I find myself being attracted to girls who, you know, like, someone could argue they're not the best looking, but their personalities, their ways of life are pure, are what I'm looking for. So that's what I've seen. Like, I won't just go for the most attractive. I'll go for respect, right? Respect, someone who honors you, someone who likes you, right? You don't want to like someone who doesn't like you back. Yeah, but, like, respect is serious, brothers and sisters. Like, there's many instances I can talk about, but it's just like, you have to always respect, you know. I respect your elders. Like, I like to say, like, I respect my elders. When I see someone in the street, I greet them just for the mere fact that they're older than me. Another situation, right? A brother, I forgave him, but what had happened is I borrowed him a book, and 2 books, matter of fact, and then I had, you know, like, when I had gave him the book, I knew that, you know, like, with reading books, I read, so I know that how long like the discipline of reading isn't easy unless you're a reader. So I won't lie, like I didn't think he was gonna read the books, or I didn't think he was as hungry for the books, right? So I was like, okay, gave them to him. But then there was a time I was like, okay, it's 3 months or a month or whatever is past, I'm gonna ask for the books back. So I had asked for the books back. Then he's like, okay, now I'll give them back to you, maybe let's say Monday. Today is a Friday. Then when Monday came, I was like, hey yo, the books. Then he's like, dog, I was gonna give your books, like I'm not gonna run away with them. Like damn, blah, like chill, you know. So I'm like, you see the disrespect already. It's like I wasn't needing the books, but it's like, if you're gonna be hostile with, what the hell, you said Monday, now that I'm calling you on your word. It's the same thing with money. People will be like, I'll pay you Monday. Then you'll be like, hey, what's going on? Then they'll be like, dog, I'll pay you this. That's where you cut it, right? And I've cut many, they know. But I feel like it's the right thing to do, because let me continue with the story. I'll give you Monday, like I'll give you books, I'm not going to run away with them. I'm like, okay, whatever. That already created hostility. Maybe he comes on a Tuesday, he brings one book, and he brings 2 books, but one isn't mine. Yeah, 2 books, one isn't mine. I'm like, nah. The 48 Laws of Power, which is a book I don't have, but for example, now I'm like, nah, like my book is the 48 Laws of Power. This is someone else's book. It's like, oh, Hade, I'll give you your book. Don't worry, let me go home, look for it. Then he still texts us, right? It's like, you said the 48 Laws of Power. I'm like, yeah. He comes with a different book. I'm like, dog, I said the 48 Laws of Power, you know. Like, you know, no disrespect, or what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, you feel me? And he's like, okay, nah, don't worry, let me go look for it. You know, ends up sending a text on some, I can't find the book. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? But like, you know, I've forgiven him, but you know, he just gave himself a bad reputation, you know. I quickly have to talk about, there's a homie, borrowed him money. It's not like, and I just want to talk about the situation for the disrespect. He's like, okay, I'll pay you back Friday. Oh yeah, I'll pay you back Wednesday or Friday, right? Let's say today is Sunday. I'll pay you back Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday comes, okay, I'm like, okay, he said Friday. Friday comes, nothing. I text him Saturday. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm cutting you off. You said Wednesday or Friday. He's like, I didn't have the money. I was going to pay you when I got it. I didn't get it. I was just going to send the money through. But it's like, you don't get it. You said Wednesday or Friday. If I had borrowed you that money on some, this money I need for transport, on this money I need, but because I trust you as a friend, here, Friday, give it back to me. You know, like, you don't think about it like that. You think that, he's being whatever. It's like, you violated trust, and how easy is trust to repair? We all know that it ain't easy, feel me? Yo, it's like, but yeah, it's like, you know, there's another homie, I also borrowed money, and one thing I saw where the disrespect started, I was like, hey homie, like, if you don't pay this money back, just know that me and you are not friends. This is what I had told him, right? And he's like, then he just put laughing emojis, you know. So it's like, okay. And he ended up not paying. Had to cut him off. But yeah, cut disrespect, guys. Like, where love is, there shouldn't be no disrespect, right? Like, I shouldn't, you know, like, a certain lady, she had given me a lift. Shout out Zodwa. She was with her sister, right? So they both older than me. And her sister was speaking about, you give someone, you know, like, you extend your hand, you help someone who doesn't have a home, you bring them into your house, and then, you know, they start disrespecting you, and you're like, okay, now I think it's time for you to go. Then they ask you, go away. So you see the disrespect, like, you're trying to help someone, now they don't want to get out your house. They're like, go away. Like, what you mean, go away? You know what I'm saying? So, like, be vigilant for the disrespect, brothers and sisters. Girls, know that if you disrespect a guy, if you don't really apologize, you know, there's many forms of disrespect. Let me just also talk about questions. Girls will question you, what's your 5-year plan? Or what's your plan for the future? Then you tell them, then they kind of give you this, like, you're not serious with life. Do you guys understand what you have just done? Like, it's like, for example, like, I'm a rapper, right? I have a plan. So it's like, if I tell you, then you just like, it's like, come on, rap. Do you understand that how this is a calling from God. So you're going to look down upon the reason I am here on this earth. If it wasn't for me rapping, you know, I have many different purposes, but this is the reason God made me and he put me on earth to minister, you know, through rap, right? To give him glory. So it's like, for you to be like, I feel like you're not serious. Or just, you roll your eyes like, you don't understand what you've just done, right? You've looked down on my entire existence. How do you expect me to take you seriously? And you know, with girls, I understand that you want an established man, want a man with a plan, you know, this whole thing. Then for you to come back around trying to be like, I always knew you were gonna make it. Like, not a chance. Like, you guys, not a chance. And whoever does, like, I don't know, like, for him, shout out. But for not a chance, you hear me? Not a chance. But yeah, like, make sure if you ever disrespect someone and you're conscious of it, forgiveness, you know, say sorry. Like, you know, there's this whole thing, girls, it's hard for them to say sorry. Say sorry, guys. This will really help you a lot. Like, you don't know the value of a person, right? You could be thinking, it's just doozy. Meanwhile, and I'm going to equate it to monetary because I feel like that gives us understanding. Meanwhile, doozy becomes a billionaire. Now it's going to be like, damn, like I should have. But no, you know, in the moment, if you are disrespectful, you know, ask for forgiveness. Just watch the disrespect, you know, like I was once watching a sermon and Bishop Musa Sona is like, women, they tend to disrespect their husbands. They just tend to be disrespectful. With men, you know, home marriages, or they tend to be cheaters. They tend to, you know, like go after other women. And I've seen this is so true. Like, women is the disrespect. Men, you know, like it's easy for us to be led away to cheat, right? But yeah, just cut the disrespect, guys. You guys don't understand. People will cut you. Like, I will cut you out my life with honestly, like, I pray for you. Like, God knows my heart. It's like everyone I've cut off, I don't mean them bad, but I just had to create that distance, create that boundary. I still pray for you. Like, I still wish all the best for you. I still love you. I will go as far as that, but I know, like, having you in my life will only be detrimental to me. Kara, yeah, and this is the unbreakable rule. Disrespect. I've said a lot. It's your boy Mduduzi. Today is the 18th of January. It's a new year, baby. Don't forget.